Luck. 216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
Should you dance or should you not dance?
You can dance like no one's watching. He'll talk like no one's listening.
It's better that you don't.
Alan Cox.
On 100.7 WMMS.
Gwen just texted me that we don't have power at Casa Cox.
Pay your bills,
Closely
man.
monitoring that situation.
Pay your bills.
You're a millionaire.
By the way, the National Weather Service cut into my interview with William Shatner, by the way, too. So you can hear all of it on the iHeartRadio app. Later on tonight, I post the show minutes after we get off the air, and so usually by 6:45, 7 o'clock, the thing should be there in its entirety. But William Shatner Live is coming to do the Packard Music Hall in Warren, Ohio on the 26th of September. That is a Thursday night. And seems like a lovely man. He's Canadian, born in Montreal. I didn't really set that up properly. I asked him if there was ever a chance he was going to be Guillaume Shatner, and he had a chuckle, but I didn't really present the context for that. He was born to a Jewish father and a French-Canadian mother.
I took French in 7th grade, and my name was Guillaume.
Guillaume, of course. Yeah.
Guillaume.
Mm-hmm. Yes. You only took it for the 1 year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I passed it.
You don't remember?
No, I don't remember.
Oh, all right.
The way people remember school is crazy to me because it is all a blur. I don't remember teachers' names. I don't remember people's names.
Well, you didn't care either.
Yeah.
Yeah, like people commit things to memory if it's important to them. I mean, sometimes you'll get random facts stick into your brain that you can call up for no discernible reason whatsoever. We all have that. But I'm not surprised that it would be like one,
I remember like 3
You just wanted it
teachers'
to be
names
over.
in 4 years. That's
Did you ever have a hot teacher? I bet you remembered her.
no.
No. We had Mrs. Koziel in the 6th grade, and I went to Catholic school K through 12. So most of the teachers were clergy, a lot of nuns. Again, you're talking 70s and 80s, so the teachers were all women. I mean, the first male teacher I ever had was in high school, my biology teacher. But in grade school, elementary school, K through 12, or I'm sorry, K through 8, we had nuns for teachers. But the handful of lay teachers we had, that's what they called them, because they were ladies. Lay, short for ladies, I believe. The handful of lay teachers we had were very old women. 6th grade, we got Mrs. Koziel, who we were like, oh my God. Now, for all I know, she could have been 40, but or rather, she could have been 21 years old. But to us, she was still like, the only lay teacher there who wasn't 80. So there were before she showed up, there were no boners that were happening in class because you had a hot teacher. Even she was just like I'm sure she was married, but she was easily, under 80, and that's all we needed. And so now, if I ever run into one of my elementary school or junior high teachers, I forget how old they are. So then I do the backwards math. I go, well, I didn't know how old they were then, but I can figure that out now. And there was one teacher that I had for 5th grade, also a lay teacher, who tried to make my life a living hell. And I have to assume in retrospect, or just from the random interactions I had with her as an adult, I have to assume that she was just trying to, quote, get the best out of me. And she didn't like me being class clown. And so she tried to make things very, very difficult for me. And then as an adult, when I'd run into her, she'd love to regale me with tales of how she really knew I'd do something because I was so funny. And I'm like, well, you were giving me like straight D's in conduct.
Well, she.
I was getting like hammered at home because you were giving me D's in conduct.
She could think you're funny and you still are inappropriate.
Nevertheless, but I wasn't inappropriate.
You're inappropriate in that, like, you're disrupting class.
Ugh.
So you can
Get
still
over
be
it.
breaking the rules, but in a funny way.
Fine. Noted.
So she has to punish you.
Yeah, but then I'd get punished at home. She wasn't doing anything. She was writing a D in my conduct slot on my report cards. And then I have to take that
Badge
stuff
of
home.
honor. Badge of honor.
Yeah, you weren't getting spanked within an inch of your life.
You don't know what was happening to me.
Were you?
I don't remember. Probably. I definitely got yelled. Like
The fact,
but
that you say badge of honor means you weren't.
No,
And
but
the,
here's
yeah,
the thing.
fact that you don't remember unless you blocked it out. Like, we got our asses kicked
Yes.
as kids.
But
Yes.
we didn't get that for grades because, like, once you have bad grades so many times, like, I can't just.
Well, they gave up.
I can't just keep hitting this kid. Yeah, I won.
My parents never learned that. I can't just keep hitting this kid. No. That was always
No, you
what
got
it
good
was.
grades though.
Yeah, but I would get hit I always got hit for my mouth. I'd always talk back. That was my big thing, was like lack of respect and talking back to my parents.
And
got
look,
me
you're a
hit.
comedian now.
I know. It
So
got me
you
hit
did win.
all the time.
See, I wasn't even doing that. I
talk
only
back.
got spanked because of stuff from school. Because I got straight A's, and then I was bored. So I'd be trying to make people laugh or do so. I was never getting in trouble for stuff at home. I wasn't a talk back to my parents' kid.
I'm the opposite.
I'm like, I can't get a little wiggle. I mean, again, my parents, I love them. They were doing the best they knew how to do, but they were very spare the rod, spoil the child type of people. So I was getting spanked. That was the defining characteristic of me, like first grade through sixth, was getting spanked all the time. That was how badly I was trying to make people laugh. Was hoping that word didn't get back to my parents. But every quarter, when the report cards would go out, and I'd be sitting there with C minuses or straight A's, and then a line of C minuses or D's in conduct, that's when, well, thanks. I guess they thought they'd spank it out of me. And I guess eventually they did.
Well,
But
they
that was
probably
more
got hit.
that was more of a function of me just getting a little bit older and just doing different things.
They probably got hit too, though.
They did not.
Oh, that was a choice. That
Yeah,
wasn't generational.
of course. Yeah.
I know
Oh,
my
that's
grandpa.
good.
No,
used to-
it was no, and again, it wasn't, my shrink has said, they're like, that's child abuse, right? And my brain doesn't go there because I knew kids that got hit.
Yeah.
And to me, that was different. That wasn't what it was. I was getting spanked. And so, but as an adult, I was like, I'm never doing that to my kids. And I remember when I first started having kids, my son he's going to be 24 this Christmas. And I remember my mom, she was still very much of the mind that that's how you had to do things. She's like, well, good luck when they're walking all over you. And I'm like, I will take my chances. I will take my chances that me not spanking my kids leads them down some dark path. Because I'm like, because my brothers, that wasn't their thing. They were getting into trouble way down the road. High school is when they were getting into trouble. And
Can't wait till I go to high school,
You're not
Billy.
spanking a high school kid. What's that?
No, you're beating a high school kid.
Well, they didn't do that either. I mean, again, they weren't doing that. We weren't getting thrown into walls. That was not my parents, but they believed very much in spanking. It was
I'm trying to
partially a
think of-
Catholic thing. It was partially a boomer thing. I mean, whatever. That's where it
Maybe a
began.
little bit kinky.
That's where it began, and that's where it ended. So it was I never got slapped in the face. Nothing. Nothing above the waist. I got spanked. And
Yeah, we got spanked belts, and then
We got hit with everything.
with,
nah,
Didn't
there was
matter.
a
Wooden
paddle.
spoons.
There was a paddle with the string and the ball cut off, and it was
I've
in the
been-
linen closet at the end of the hall.
we had wooden spoons, and then those started breaking, and my mom's like, "Hey, Jim, stop using the spoons. I'm tired of buying spoons."
We got hit with
I'm trying to make these
hands,
giant pots of food for these 5 kids. I got nothing to stir it with.
hands, belts, Hot Wheels tracks were a popular
No,
one in
no,
our
we did not
house.
have that.
Shoes, we'd get whatever was nearest.
I was
going to
say,
they
it sounds
would
like
throw it at us.
your house or whatever was in proximity to them.
Yes,
They would.
they would grab and either throw at us or hit us with.
No.
it.
Yeah, my
we
parents
didn't have
never
anything like
threw
that.
anything at us.
Oh,
No.
constantly.
We also never talked back to our parents either.
Right.
Like that never ever
Right.
happened.
I mean,
it would not even have occurred to me to
it's
talk
hard
back to my
too,
parents.
though, because I don't think
That's why I was acting up
either-
in school.
Either of your parents really fought with each other, though, did they? Like
No.
in front of you guys?
Nope.
So that's the difference, is that my parents were constantly screaming at each other. So I think that taught us this is how you talk to
communicate.
people.
Yeah.
If you have a problem, you scream at someone. And I'm like, well, this is what you're teaching me. So why am I getting smacked in the face because I talked back? That's how you talk to mom, you know?
Right.
Good point.
No, I fully understand that
That would
logic.
get you smacked.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
What are you just turning the mirror on me? No.
Right, exactly.
You want me to do something better? How dare you, child?
You will speak when spoken to.
Yeah, we were not exactly taught good communication skills.
Right. No, but that's a line of logic you can follow.
Yeah.
I think my parents were just like, I say my parents, it was my mom. My dad was working all the time, right? My dad wasn't spanking him, he was my mom. And I don't begrudge her that as an adult. I've never had a conversation with her about it because it was a long time ago. But it will instill some things in you. It will instill an attitude and a mindset in you. But for me, it was never going to be, well, I can't wait to do this to my kids. Never, ever, ever.
Revenge.
I can't even fathom
Okay,
that.
Have you ever felt in the moment that you wanted to, though?
No.
Like your kid was absolutely melting down or being crazy, and you're
Nope.
like, not like I want to do this, but I understand why my parent got so frustrated that they hit me.
It wasn't a frustration. My mom was ice cold when she did it. It wasn't frustration.
Yeah, she
It
was
was
doing it in like
in
the heat of the moment.
response.
Yeah,
it was never spontaneous. It was never, because I didn't act like that at home. I didn't do anything. That's why when I first went to kindergarten and the first parent-teacher conference, when I'm 5 or 6 or however old you are when you're in kindergarten, and they sat down with my teacher, the nun, Sister Ann Benedict. Alan has a hard time keeping to himself. Alan doesn't have a lot of self-control. Blah, blah, blah.
And
my
now look at you. You're drinking salads. You don't even talk to people.
Right?
It's like you don't.
It manifests
you don't
itself in the
socialize. You go
strangest
see
ways.
Deadpool by yourself. Like you're cured.
Yeah, sure am. But my parents literally were like, you must not be talking about Alan. You must be talking about another kid. This was utterly foreign to them because I was such a good kid at home. And so that was their entree into the next, 6 or 7 grades of my academic career because I just could not control myself. I was trying to impress girls. I was trying to make people laugh. So, it was nothing ever anything crazy. It's just my parents, in their mind, were like, well, if we don't take care of this now, it's going to get out of control. You got to learn to respect authority now,
So
which
you're
is why
being-
I despise authority as an adult.
Your behavior in school affected your grade?
You got a conduct grade. You had all of your academic
Huh.
grades.
I don't think we had that because
Yeah,
I was
You didn't get
in-
some people got plus or minus. I wish to
Yeah.
God, but this was Catholic school in the 70s and
No, I
80s, so
get
they were
that, I get
very
that.
big on corporal punishment.
Ours was like, I was getting kicked out of class constantly. I was in detention for an entire semester. My desk in English class was outside of the classroom because I couldn't leave people alone. But I had straight A's. So I don't know that either it wasn't reported or my parents didn't care. If they're like, hey, man, you're getting an A.
You're
I don't
getting
really,
the grades,
I don't really
yeah.
care how you're getting it.
My parents
kind of
would
a
have been
thing.
thrilled with that.
But I don't know, or it wasn't included in that. I'm sure it was in the notes. Hey, dumbass can't keep her mouth shut.
Dumbass.
Smart ass.
Smart ass can't, more than anything.
Good grade.
You know what's going to be a good palate cleanser, Mary?
What?
Some hot celebrity gossip.
Oh,
This is Hot Celebrity Gossip with Perez, Bilton. Ooh.
Oh, a bunch of naughty little boys and girls out there that want some hot goss paddled on their ass.
Ah.
Let's start things off. Zac Efron had a scary moment. He was swimming in Ibiza, and he jumped into the pool, dove in, and hit his chest on the bottom, and sucked in a bunch of water and nearly drowned. He was rushed to the hospital. He's fine. And according to inside sources,
Whoop, hold on.
Inside sources.
it gave him an idea to do a sequel for one of his most popular movies coming soon. High School Musical. Oh, well, it's called I Peaked in High School Musical.
Oh, yeah. Faux shiz, faux shiz.
There's an Olympic swimmer. A lot of swimming stuff today. He slept on the streets as a protest to the Olympic Village. He said that the accommodations were wretched and he might as well just sleep on the streets because it's going to be better. And the Olympics responded, according to inside sources.
Inside sources.
The head of the Olympic Village said, hey, you may not like these accommodations, but there's people from places that have never seen accommodations this nice. People that are from terrible places like Michigan and Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah. Faux shiz, faux shiz.
You mean Americans?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, specifically Michigan and Pittsburgh. Because obviously Ohio's nice. And finally,
Oh,
Chet
yeah.
Hanks
Faux shiz.
is killing it on the Surreal Life. He's got like a little flirty thing going with one of the, I don't remember her name, like something Kate or something. I don't know. She was a Real Housewife or something. And people are really liking Chet Hanks. And according to inside sources,
Inside sources.
they're planning on bringing back their sex-charged dating shows like Flavor of Love and what was the Rock of Love, but it's going to be for Chet Hanks and it's going to be called Hanks for Nuttin'.
This is Hot Celebrity Gossip with Perez, Bilton. Ooh.
So we can see the signs. I can tell that you wanted to jump in love. I looked at you, I knew you wanted to jump in love.
That Zac Efron thing was wild. He jumps in the pool and jumps so deep that it slams his chest.
Yeah.
Man, you think that
breathed in a
giant
bunch of
jaw
water,
would have hit
yeah.
the bottom first. That dude, he's going to jam himself up something fierce. I don't know what's going on with him. All right, good. Well done.
Mary, did you get Hanks for Nuttin'?
I
Like
got it.
it's like
I got it.
like jizz.
I understood.
Like
Yep.
Booyah shaka! Everything Irie with Chet. He didn't do that patois anymore, does he?
nah, he did that for a
right.
little while and but
He got over
He's
it.
like the hit of that show though.
Is he?
People loved him on
I didn't
that
even know he
show.
was on it.
Yeah.
Well, everybody has a cultural appropriation phase, right? I guess. Chet Hanks was. All right, I got to take a break here. I want to send a text 35192, and we'll be back.
The Alan Cox Show on 100.